President Joe Biden delivered a striking warning over threats of nuclear weapons on the war in Ukraine. He says this is the closest the world has been to a possible Armageddon since the Cuban Missile Crisis. ABC's Jay O'Brien on the atrocities now being unearthed this week.
President Biden making his most outspoken remarks yet about the threat of potential nuclear war. The president arrived back to the White House last night after telling his audience at a fundraiser that Russian President Vladimir Putin is, quote, not joking when he talks about the use of tactical nuclear weapons or biological or chemical weapons. Biden added, we have not faced the prospect of Armageddon since Kennedy and the Cuban Missile Crisis. U.S. officials have warned Russia could use weapons of mass destruction in Ukraine as Moscow faces a series of strategic setbacks. Ukrainian military officials say they've now taken back more than 150 square miles of land from the Russians since October 1st. And as Russian troops retreat, they're leaving behind new evidence of atrocities. Oleksandr is the deputy head of the team looking into possible war crimes. He says in practically every town, there were such places where people were brought in for interrogation and torture. His team getting a tip on a potential mass grave and unearthing this, an apparent torture pit dug into the ground. Buried near the bottom, what appears to be civilians. Meanwhile, the exodus of fighting-age men from Russia is taking a new turn. 2 Russians fleeing Putin's military draft have requested asylum in the U.S. after sailing across the Bering Strait to a remote island that belongs to Alaska. The Russians were taken to...
All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I'm going to say, Call Allah, Yahweh, Ba'ashim, Yahushai, Ba'ashim, Rakah HaKudash. And double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, who taught us this truth and rule well. And Shalom to the hopeful elect. Yahweh, Ba'ashim, Yahushai, Ba'ashim, Rakah HaKudash, Barakatam. It's the brother Kazak coming back at it again with another lesson. All right, and as you saw, Joe Biden delivers a warning about nuclear destruction. Okay, now in this case, it's dealing with, Russians nuking Ukraine, which really, it's going to be Babylon, a.k.a. America, that's going to get nuked, man. All right? It's going to be Babylon, a.k.a. America, that's going to be destroyed. All right? And that's thus said Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai, thus says the scriptures. Okay? He said they were the closest they've ever been since the Cuban Missile Crisis. All right? And they also stated that, Biden said that Putin is not joking when it comes to using the missiles. And it's true. All right? Because it is biblical prophecy that Babylon is going to be destroyed. All right? Now bear with me, doing an in transit, pre-camp lesson. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man. It's biblical prophecy. All right? And with that, we're going to go with the book of, let me see, where do we go? We're going to go with Revelations. All right? Third woe. Okay? Because that situation in Ukraine is heating up. All right? The whole situation with Ukraine, it's going to heat up, man. All right? And it's becoming more and more evident. All right? Because here it is, Ukrainians is getting, massive support, from America and their counterparts, which is, NATO, the EU. All right? And the Russians, they don't like that at all. They came out and stated, all right, that supporting Ukraine is a direct act of war against them. All right, so you already know what time it is, man. You already know. Basically they're letting you know what time it is, man. All right. So Revelation chapter 11, verse 14, and it reads, "The second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly." Exactly, man. The third woe cometh quickly. All right. The second woe represented the first, not the first, but the Second World War. All right, which we know how that ended. With Babylon, nuking Japan. But guess what? Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai is going to hit Babylon with his own medicine. Okay, which is the ICBM thermonuclear missiles. All right. So continue on, it says, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. Yeah, that's dealing with the World War III. All right, which it's already, it's set in motion. Okay, Yahweh Hashem Yahushai is using World War III. All right, well, the whole purpose of World War III is so that the nations can come to the valley of Yahweh Shaphat, where they're going to be fighting each other until the second, until Yahweh Shah, who the world inwardly calls Jesus Christ, makes the second coming, and then they're going to turn on him. They're gonna lay their differences aside, these different nations, and then they're gonna try to fight against the Son of Man. All right, and that's pursuant to 2nd Ezra chapter 6. Not 2nd Ezra chapter 6. 2nd Ezra chapter 13. All right, Slakia, slip of the tongue. Okay, so with that we're gonna go with the book of man, what the fuck happened over here? Lots of traffic. All right, so with that we're gonna go to let me see. We're going to go to the book of Isaiah. All right, chapter 13. Okay. Now I'm about to turn off this navigation. Hold on a sec, man. Give me a quick sec, man. Let's turn this shit off right here, man. I don't know. They shut the freeway down or something. That's what it looks like. I'm going to do this lesson and then I'm going to navigate out of here, go to the camp spot, man. All right, but let me see. All right, so book of Isaiah chapter 13 verse 17. All right, it's the go-to scripture when it comes to this. It reads, behold, I will stir up the Medes against them. Exactly. And who's the Medes? That's talking about Babylon. All right, it's not talking about the ancient Medo-Persian Empire. This is dealing with prophecies, dealing with things that are to come to pass, okay, in the future. All right, so it says I will stir up the Medes against them, and that's the spiritual name or one of the spiritual names of the Russians. All right, another one is Gog and Magog, which is found in Ezekiel 38. All right, which that's been manifesting and been fulfilling. Okay, the stage is set for the destruction of Babylon and the deliverance of the elect. All right, of Israel, you so-called blacks, Latinos, Native Americans. Okay, so continuing on, and it reads, behold, I will stir up the Medes against them, which shall not regard silver, and as for gold, they shall not delight in it. Exactly. All right, because of all these, economic, economic, penalties, such as sanctions and trade import shutdowns, things like that, that they've been hitting Russia with, but they're still, moving forward with what Yahweh Hashem Yahushai has ordained them to move forward with. All right, he's putting the will in them to keep on going with this, keep on going down this direction. Okay, and what proves that is the book of Proverbs. All right, book of Proverbs chapter 21 verse 1. The king's heart is in the hand of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. As the rivers of water, he turneth it whithersoever he will. Exactly. All right, as the rivers of water, he turneth it whithersoever he will. That's how much control Yahweh Hashem Yahushai has over the world. Okay, that's how much control he has. All right, all this, all these faithless people, what I'm saying, that don't believe in the Lord, that push that, especially those amongst our nations that think everything is sweet, or that take the Lord for some weakling, some all love, unbalanced abomination, because that's what that is, pursuing the Proverbs chapter 11 and 1, false balance is an abomination with Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. So you come out here, he's talking about the Lord is all love and this and that. Guess what? You're making the Lord an abomination, man. All right, but it's all good. The world's having its wake-up call. All right, people are having this wake-up call. All right, especially the tribes. They know what time it is, man. They know we're at the end times. All right, and that's what we've been trying to warn you about for decades, man. Since the elders and apostles of Great Millstone on down. All right, so continuing on, and it reads, okay, Isaiah chapter 13, 17, behold, I will stir up the Medes against them. All right, that's dealing with the Russians against who? The Babylon, all right, which is America, which shall not regard silver, and as for gold, they shall not delight in it, right? Because they also got their own thing going on, with their own currency, their own trades and stuff, with Russia and their counterparts, right? Verse 18, their bows also shall dash the young men into pieces, and they shall have no pity on the fruit of the womb, and their eyes shall not spare children. Exactly. All right, and that's dealing with the ICBM thermonuclear missiles. All right, the Russians is going to launch that up here. They're not going to care about the women and children, the little babies and that get burned up in it. No. All right, because it's Yahweh Hashem Yahushai and in the spirit that's doing this. All right, verse 19, Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldees' excellency shall be as when Yahweh Hashem Yahushai overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. And it shall never be inhabited, neither shall it be dwelt in from generation to generation. Neither shall the Arabian pitch tent there, neither shall the shepherds make their fold there. Yeah, that's going to be the aftermath of the destruction. All right, the space is going to be turned into a barren wasteland, a barren desert. Okay, because as it says, you know, shall be as when the Lord overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. Yeah, all right, because and how was Sodom and Gomorrah overthrown? By fire. Okay, by fire. Yeah, this big, you know, glorious kingdom. All right, as it is described, the beauty of the Chaldees' excellency. Okay, it's going to be destroyed by fire. All right, it's going to be destroyed. It's going to be burnt up. All right, continuing on with verse 21. But wild beasts of the desert shall lie there, and their houses shall be full of doleful creatures. All right, hold on, give me a second. I'll go around these people. I guess this dude had a, you know, it literally had to be the person right in front of me too, man. Car problems, man. You know, but that's Satan trying to, trying to mess with the progress. You know, trying to mess with the process. You know, it is what it is, man. All right, but continuing on, and it reads, all right, and owls shall dwell there, and satyrs shall dance there, and wild beasts of the island shall cry in their desolate houses, and the dragons in their pleasant palaces, and her time is near to come, and her days shall not be prolonged. Exactly, her days shall not be prolonged. All right, the judgment of Babylon is coming soon. So with that, I'm going to say, Call Allah, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Ruach HaKodesh, for giving me the spirit to do this lesson, or willing this lesson was edifying. All right, just blowing the trumpet. With that, I'm going to say, Shalom, on to the next.